Thought I'd make the first part of my young offenders video. I was before I got sentenced. They reminded me in Rochester, like in my previous videos, I said. But anyway, she let me out for 2 weeks, and then I had to go back. Sentencing day. Went in there. All I was actually up for was true driving on the bands. I'd never been in jail before in my life, sentenced. So my solicitor thought, you might have a touch here, Philip. The only thing that went against me is I'd never complied with probation. Having ADHD, you don't really comply with probation or community services. So that was not an option for me. Anyway, this little old lady must have been about 89 on the bench. She looked at me and said, "Not you again." I said, "Yeah, sorry, miss." And she said, "Do you remember what I told you last time?" I said, "Yeah, you were going to send me off for a short, sharp shock." And that's when she said, "Well, that's where you're going, Philip. We're sentencing you to 6 months and 3 days into the Young Offenders Institution." So basically, I got taken down into the cells, all a bit of a shock. I was sort of sitting there thinking, wow, I've actually been sent down. It was all new to me. Anyway, we get picked up, get taken to Canterbury Prison, which is an adult prison. They're supposed to be a young offenders unit within that prison, but the truth of the matter is, back in them days, they just put you in with the proper prisoners. So at 17, I was in a proper prison with adult prisoners. I did 2 weeks there. That was the allocation prison back in my day. There wasn't no Elmley, that wasn't built. Canterbury Prison, beautiful old pre-Victorian place. And then they said you were going to Hollesley Bay in Suffolk. I thought, wow, Hollesley Bay, never even heard of it. Anyway, they put me in a wagon. It was a long trip. I remember the Crays, Ronnie Cray, was in Chelmsford Prison, and we stopped off and had dinner in Chelmsford Prison because it was such a long journey from Tunbridge in Kent to Woodbridge in Suffolk. It's quite a big old trip. So they stop off. That's what they do. That's how they get you dinner and that. You stop along the way at prisons, and we stopped at Chelmsford Prison. So that's the only time I've ever been in an Essex, Nick, was for dinner. And not Ronnie, who was it? Reggie Cray, that's it, sorry. Reggie Cray, the one that wasn't crazy, he was in there. Anyway, we had our dinner, got back on the meat wagon, up to Hollesley Bay. In the back, they're discussing you going to the open bit or the locked bit, which was all new to me. I thought locked open. I was just used to being locked away, so that didn't really bother me where I went. But I got there because I was in for non-violent offences. I got put in an open part of Hollesley Bay. They used to call it Holiday Bay back in the day. Excuse me while I just spark this up. Anyway, we've arrived at Hollesley Bay. I was going to say Holiday Bay again. It may as well be Holiday Bay. Anyway, we've arrived at the Nick. Gone into reception. It's quite late now. About 6, 7. Still, all the kids was out. I think it was 8 o'clock behind the doors. 10 o'clock lights out in the young offenders. And I can remember them showing me my room, which was right on the end. You had a room with a key, and windows with no bars. That was very surreal after being in a proper prison to go into an open young offenders. But anyway, there was this little lad that came in on the wagon with me. I won't mention his name, but there was later I found out this other kid I'm going to talk about in a minute, was the daddy. What was called the daddy. Obviously the top dog. Anyway, I've gone in now. Well, I've got to have a piss. So you come out your room up to the corner of the dormitory, and there's a toilet. Anyway, me and this kid have gone in there. I've just had a piss washing my hands, and this big dude comes in, man. Eyes up me little mate, and says, "Give us all your baccy." I'm washing my hands, so I haven't seen who he's directly saying that to. I just thought, well, I'm just going to wash my hands here, then turn around and see what the coup is. Anyway, I washed my hands, I turned around, and my little pals looked up at this big dude. I've gone, fuck right off, pal, you ain't getting nothing. And do you want to know what the big dude said? He said, you two want to roll up then? And he got his fags out. Obviously trying to tax us. Obviously he does that to all the new ones. And what the coup was, is if you was pretty weak and you were scared, and I can't knock anyone for that, it's a dangerous fucking environment, they'd probably go, here mate, here's all my tackle. But then what you're going to have is every fucking canteen day, you're going to have him tapping on your door. So that didn't happen. How long am I into this? 6 minutes, maybe a bit longer. Trying to make my videos a bit longer. The Young Offenders was a wild place. Out of all the places I've ever been to in my life, I've never seen so much violence as I see there. Luckily for me, I'm quite tall. The age limit for this place was 17 and 21. And obviously I was 17, so I was one of the younger ones. But the daddy, he was just as tall as me, but he was more developed, muscly. I never had no real grief with him. He never really started on me. He just looked for the easy targets. And that's the Young Offenders. Did his painting and decorating course in there. Various other things. Met some good lads from, mainly in that nick, it's people from Norfolk, Essex boys was in there. When I first got there, I thought, oh no, everyone's talking Norfolk. Then I had this kid come out. Oi, where are you from? And he was from Canterbury. And this lad next to him, he was from Chelmsford in Essex. And it looked like there was a mishmash of Essex, Norfolk and Kent bods in there. Which surprised me, because I thought I was going to Feltham in London. But they didn't put me there. I went further afield. Anyway, that's enough of this little chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be making more crazy stories about prison and how it was back in the day. Got a few other tales to tell as well. Also, we're going to be progressing on to the next prison. Didn't just stop there. I obviously was an adult offender as well. So I've been to various other prisons. Lincoln Prison, Canterbury Prison, Elmley. Where else have I been? I can't think. I'll be doing a story about Elmley anyway, on the Isle of Sheppey. In fact, I don't really like the new prisons. I'm old school, see. All these new prisons with TVs in and all that, toilets. I'm old school. All we had was a pot to piss and shit in, slopping out, it was called. Slopping out in the morning. People used to have a dump at night. And if you were cellied up with someone, obviously you didn't want to dump in the bucket because you stink him out all night. So what you do a bomb. You do a shit bomb in a bit of newspaper and then turf it out the window. They had one poor bloke, it was good dough though, they had a cleaner on really good dough, he was a shit picker upper. And he had to walk all round outside of the prison picking up the shit parcels. I don't know what wedge he was on, but you'd need a proper bonus, wouldn't you, to do that. Anyway, bon voyage, catch you all later. Whatever you're doing, be lucky.